Welcome to Daily Plunge. We are in the book of Job, chapter 9, verses 1 through 15, and then we're going to drop down to the bottom of the chapter. After Bildad has told Job he's full of hot air and that God would never pervert justice, Job comes back with the classic "yeah, I know, but" statement. And a yeah, I know, but" statement is basically saying it's a diversion. I'm affirming what you said so that now I can set you up to contradict you. And he starts off in verse 2. How can a human being stand blameless, innocent, righteous before God? And the thing is, a human being cannot, not on their own terms, not on their own two legs. And actually, this is what Job is longing for. He wants to stand before the Lord blameless, but he cannot do it on his terms. And so he goes on to say, you can't go to court. You cannot take God to court and win that battle. You can't resist him. And, if you take him to court, he's going to win the court case 1,000 times because you're not going to be able to answer him, which, funny later on, that's exactly what we're going to find out in the book of Job. But as Job says, God's wisdom is profound, his power is vast, and you can't get past him unscathed. And then in verse 5, he goes on to tell us that, God upsets the created order. And to upset the created order is really to upset the moral order. And he talks about how God is moving mountains and overturning pillars in his anger, making things tremble, darkening the sun, putting out the lights at night in the sky. And God is the acts of God. Think about like tornadoes and hurricanes, and we speak about an act of God, but it seems like it's something that is unjust, unexpected, that causes unnecessary suffering. And we think about that in terms of our own lives, about acts of God and how they cause suffering. And so the Lord, the maker of the universe, seems like a troublemaker with his unrestrained sovereignty. Who can say to him, it says in verse 12, "What are you doing? Well, you're making a mess of things. What are you doing?" And that's exactly what Job and his friends are trying to say to God. What are you doing? Why is this thing a mess? And he says, if you go to court, you may take God to court and you're as the plaintiff, but he's also the judge. And all you can do is beg for mercy because he's mighty and he is the one who determines what justice is. And then we get down to the end. And, verse 32, God is not a mere mortal like us. He doesn't answer to us. We answer to him. And that's one of the problems with so much atheism and human philosophy. We think that God is waiting around to get our approval, right? But then there's verse 33. If only there was someone to mediate between us and God, someone to bring us together, someone to remove God's wrath from us. And there is a mediator. It's Jesus Christ who took on the suffering of this world, took on the wrath of God for our sins so that we could be able to stand before the Lord blameless and righteous because of Christ. Well, thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.